Hello students and families, my name is Mrs. Hagan. I wanted to make a short video to introduce myself to you and also to introduce you to this school year and specifically world history. In this video, I'm going to give you some information about what it is that we'll be learning in world history, the websites that we'll be using specifically more so on your virtual days, the best ways to contact me with questions and grading as well. So some of this might be old news to you. So some of this might be specifically if you're moving into the district, this might be brand new information. Feel free to pause, fast forward, watch a couple times and do whatever you need to do. And ultimately I'll follow up by asking whatever questions I can continue to answer for you. To start off, a little bit of information about just me personally. This is my 7th year at Waukesha West High School. One of the other things that I do at the school is I coach the girls swim team, and this is my 6th season with them. Over the summer, I became Mrs. I got married on August 1st this year. And when we start doing live classes on Monday, you might also meet the other 2 people in my family. I have a dog named Marty and a cat named Rue. And Rue specifically likes to hang out when I meet live with students, so you'll probably meet her pretty early. Later in this week, I will actually be asking students to make a very short video introducing me to you and telling me what you're passionate about. And it gives us an opportunity to see each other's full faces and not the mask covered face like we will be when we are face to face. Some of the classes that I teach at Waukesha West, I have World History with the sophomore class primarily. I also teach AP World History. And I teach AVID, which stands for Advancement via Individual Determination. It focuses on equipping students to become the best high school students that they can be, looking forward to how to prepare for college and then even careers beyond that. And specifically, I have the senior class of my AVID students. Specific to world history, what is it that we'll be learning? So primarily we're talking about the skills. We'll be learning how to analyze both primary and secondary documents that were created in the historical time period, and also more modern documents that look back, analyzing them for perspective, bias, and argumentation before then you'll also start to do much of your own argumentative writing, creating your opinion and developing your analysis, pulling together evidence to convince me of your position. We'll also be working on a lot of communication skills, both verbal communications when we are in the classroom or when we're using Flipgrid, as well as digital communication, creating more visual components to guide us through your thought process. Content-wise, we'll be starting with the early foundations of more ancient and classical civilizations, and then start talking about what happens when those societies meet and impact each other, how the entire world starts to become connected and how that's going to make political, social, and economic changes, and then end with the modern world and more modern social movements and conflicts as well. And we'll also have a really solid dose of current events, always within the context of what happened in history to cause those current events to take place. I just want to talk really quickly about how you students will be assessed kind of on a broad scale. Similar to your freshman social studies class for most of you, I do use declarative grading, which means that the computer doesn't average out your percents. Instead, I take a look at your grades over time and give a semester grade based on the trends that I'm seeing. I prefer to use that way because then I can make judgments that based on how it is that you're improving in the class over time, giving more weight to the things that you do later in the semester than earlier. It means that I can also kind of reflect on what might have been going on in your life during a certain assignment week, month, and how that might have impacted your performance. The calculative grading is just a little too objective. It can't take into account those other more personal circumstances. So that's why I prefer declarative grading. The one drawback, though, is that because the computer does not automatically average out your grades, I just need a little bit of extra patience because I need the time to go through and look student by student and make those calls for us. So it does take a little bit of extra time. But ultimately, when your grade is updated, I'm confident it'll be much more reflective of your growth. What is it that you're going to need for world history? You're going to need a binder. I'm okay with you having another binder that has all of your classes, specifically if you carry an Avid binder. I'm a big fan. So if you have a world history section within a larger binder, that's fine, but I do want a place that all of your world history material can stay together. You'll need 4 dividers. We separate the class out largely by quarter, each quarter having its own essential question, so a divider for each of those quarters. You'll need loose leaf piece of paper or a notebook that you can tear out paper if that's what you prefer, but something that you can organize your writing on, organize your notes, really kind of throw your thoughts down on too. An assortment of pens and highlighters, both for your annotations and to also go back to your own work to colorify it, if you will, and then pencils. And please bring these as well as your iPad to your face-to-face learning each day. These are the websites that we will most typically be using in world history. Blackboard, and I'll show you my Blackboard page in a moment. That's going to be your one-stop shop to get everything that you need in this class. If you need another copy of a handout, if you're absent that day and you need to know what it is that we did, if you're looking up contact information for me, that's all in Blackboard. Google Classroom will be the location that you submit your work, whether it's an essay or one of your visual presentations, a picture of your notes, any of those things. When you're turning something in, it will almost certainly be through Google Classroom. WebEx Teams is going to be how we communicate, specifically on those live Mondays when those start up, but also it might be your easiest way to contact all of your classmates or me. And then Flipgrid will be the website that we use if I'm ever asking you to record a video of yourself, like I will be later this week, and it gives you an opportunity to see each other's full face and also send recordings to one another. I'm going to give you just a quick tour of what these look like. This is my Blackboard page. It does look a little bit goofy on your side of things perhaps, and I know on the iPad it will look a little bit different. This can be where you're going to find your syllabus, the staff information to contact me, a very general overview. This will be an easy way for you to also access Infinite Campus. The student calendar will probably be your most used tab on Blackboard. This is updated on a daily basis to not only give you a very general idea of what we did in that class, but also it provides hyperlinks to get to the assignments. That again, if you ever need an extra copy or something, or you want to look back on a slideshow, this will be your go-to location. And it also is updated to reflect where we're going, so if you're ever curious. Google Classroom, which you probably aren't, you're not in my Google Classroom just yet. We'll take care of that early on, the first week. Again, this is going to be where you're submitting all of your assignments, starting with your very first class introduction. And then WebEx Team looks like this, and you should already be in a group 4 world history. If you're not, don't sweat it. We'll take care of that early this week, but this will be where we do most of our large group communication. So for those of you who are wondering how best to reach out, particularly on those virtual days, here's just a quick rundown of what I would suggest you do if you have a question but you're not in the building with me. If it's a public question, something that you think might apply to a lot of people, or how do you do this, it's not really specific to you, my suggestion is that you drop that question into the WebEx Teams chat, because chances are other students have the same question, and chances are also that one of your other classmates could probably answer that question before I see it, since I will also be teaching face-to-face during those days. So that's probably the fastest way to get your public questions answered. If you have a private question that's very specific to your circumstances or deals with circumstances that you don't want others to know about, then I would suggest you send me an email, which is listed right here, but it's also listed on BB9 and the calendar, so that you have lots of ways to find that. If you want to have a longer conversation, a dialogue, really talk through things, you're going to want to call this phone number. That number leads directly to a voicemail so that my phone doesn't ring as I'm teaching. But I'll get that voicemail listed on my email, and I can listen to it, and then I know that you want to have a more extended conversation, and I'll know to call you back. My prep starts at 1 o'clock each day. There's a chance I'll be able to answer WebEx questions or an email before that, but generally speaking, assume that maybe around 1 o'clock will be the first time that I really get to spend some time going through the questions that you may have emailed for me or any voicemails that you left, all right? Now, if you are in cohort 1, I will meet you face-to-face on Tuesday and have you on Thursday. But if you're in cohort 2, you start class on Tuesday, September 1st, but I will not see you face-to-face on Wednesday. So for those of you in cohort 2, you will have your first assignment for me virtually. I will share that with you on either Monday evening or Tuesday morning. Don't rush to it. I mean, you're still on summer break on Monday. So my suggestion is that you check your email first thing Tuesday morning so that you see what your first assignment is for me on virtually. And cohort 1, you'll be responsible for checking your email and finding that assignment to complete on Wednesday, September 2nd. So that first assignment is really going to be a Google form that gives me some insight on who you are, what your concerns might be, what you're excited about this school year. I'm very excited to meet you face-to-face on Tuesday and or Wednesday, and we're going to have a great 2020-2021 school year. Just one last little shot of my contact information if you need it, but otherwise, so excited to actually get to speak to you later this week.